Good morning, everyone. Lewd here, and today is the first episode of the Moment of Lucidity podcast. I have with me a special guest today, a friend and writer, Mr. Ben, as I usually call him. You want to introduce yourself for real quick?
Hi to all 79 of you, including myself. Depends how many are watching. Hi, I'm Ben. I'm a writer from England. Uh, if any of you are also from there, it's West Yorkshire area, but I'm not going into any more because I don't want anyone sending me a pipe bomb. Uh, did that
you're,
actually happen?
you
Like,
already have enough of those around.
no, that's Ireland.
Ah, I thought they
To
stopped
our
doing that.
yeah, they stopped. Yeah, the troubles.
They didn't have a reason
I
to
say
after the
that like
Queen
I
fell.
have any. Right, sorry.
I said
We're
they
already
didn't
off
have.
to a shaky start.
Nah, this happens a lot. I just said that they
Yeah,
don't have reason to send you anymore after the Queen kicked the bucket.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, I. At first, you're sad about her death, and then you realize, like, oh, the monarchy actually did some horrible things, like under her rule too.
Well, it's like she's been around for so long. It's almost sad to see like it's an end of an era.
Yeah.
Well, since you're a writer and now that we're here, in case our reader wants to read some of your work, you mind sharing them and
Oh,
telling them where they can
yeah,
read it?
sure. All right, you should be able to find me on a site called Inspired. I'll post the link now. You can post it to them if you want.
I'll put it in the description.
I have two links with me on it.
So I'll put
I got
both of them
published.
on.
Yeah, I got published twice by them. I've also got a blog because yeah, I'll post the blog as well. I've written a lot. The trouble is getting published.
Oh, well, isn't that just modern writing? You're
Yeah.
you either work for Netflix or you don't.
Uh,
I mean, I've seen a lot of like up and coming independent writers, mostly Americans though.
yeah. Bloody Americans.
They overflood the markets with everything.
Well, we did it in the 80s when the comics industry, like Neil Gaiman, Grant Morrison, Alan Moore, they showed up and DC were like, ours, they're ours now. We're gonna make everything dark and sad. Wait, no, it's not working.
We're making everything British again. God, God save the Queen.
Yeah. Hey, Frank Miller, get on this. Oh no, what are you doing? Dark Knight Returns, no. Well, Dark Knight Returns 2, that was worse.
We don't talk about that one.
Or Holy Terror, the one where he's like, I'm going to have Batman fight Al Qaeda. And DC was like, no, you're not. All right, fine, I'll file the serial numbers off and the ears.
Yeah, the 80s was a very like. I mean, that is when like more or less Warhammer 40k really kicked off, where all the grim dark was
Yeah.
everywhere.
Was Warhammer Fantasy, like, how much further back did Warhammer Fantasy start?
About like almost half a decade really, like about like 5 to 10 years.
I need to get back into Warhammer Fantasy at some point. I did do a game of Age of Sigmar recently, the 4th edition, and quite good.
The tabletop game.
Yeah, the tabletop game.
I refuse to touch it purely out of principle.
If I had to pick an army, in Warhammer Fantasy, not Age of Sigmar, I'd go ogres. I had the giants, and they've got like these giant big guns and meat hooks, and they just enjoy life. And not
Uh,
in a chaos way where it makes you worse.
yeah, so they're not too different from back when they were fancy. I heard they have a lot of more like like cool, badass big mounts.
Yeah. Those are the giants too, if you're interested in that, because they are like they're a lot of points per model because of how big they are.
Well, it would make sense. They are ogres and giants.
Yeah.
So, what would you say would be your biggest inspiration for all your writing?
Mine? Oh,
You're the writer here.
true. I think a lot of it was just stuff I read at the time when I was writing the things. Like the
Hmm.
first the closest to a novel I remember writing at first was this cringeworthy thing I ripped off from two weird sources. One was like the opening chapter of a Darksiders book. God, remember Darksiders?
Oh God.
And then bits from a Red versus Blue fan fiction. And I'm like, in retrospect, it just wasn't very good. And I'm glad I moved on to other things.
Hey, we all gotta start somewhere.
Yeah. Or start somewhere and then forget the thing. Well, not forget what you did, but like don't acknowledge it because it's embarrassing. Except I'm acknowledging it now, so no.
And that's gonna
But
be in the link description of this video.
well, it was on a website until the website got taken down. It was called
Ah,
Figment. It was this place for like writers to post stuff.
I'll give $20 to any
Um,
viewers who manage to find it. Send it to me.
I, I bet it's still better than Ruby. Actually, no, it's not.
Early Ruby.
Yeah, early Ruby at least had charm
Early Ruby is
because they
consistent
were
with
like,
the anime team it tried to code for.
yeah. We could do an episode on Ruby later on.
Ooh,
No, we do an episode on Ruby, and it's like things we wish had happened.
Ruby written by two guys in a room, on the spot.
Which is somehow better than the two guys who wrote the actual show, but
To
Tish.
be fair, one of them had died
It's like
halfway through.
no, it was Miles, Kerry, and Monty who kept coming in with ideas at the last minute.
Yeah, and one of them died halfway through. Monty, God rest his soul.
Yeah, yeah, but it's three people then.
Yeah, and
Uh,
like you would think
actually, two people did write.
you would think they
Two
get more
people
people
did
in with
write.
more budget. Yeah.
No, they got like no, they got Miles, Kerry, Kirsty. What was the other guy? Eddie. I think
Eddie.
Eddie was the guy who made Genlock and took a bunch of money away from the company,
Yeah.
like to make diverted funds to make it. And then the series, and then the company in charge were like, make it more adult, so they put in a like really awkward looking sex scene.
Yeah. That
Thanks, Genlock.
God, that company was a mess.
Yeah, no wonder Rooster Teeth died. No, the mess bit was like wasn't the workplace culture kind of crap?
It was because it was disorganized from the beginning. Like it was
Yeah,
just
because
it's like
they're more like a
machinima.
fraternity.
Yeah, it's like machinima when they were just a bunch of guys doing it as a hobby, but they tried to turn it into a proper thing, and they failed miserably.
How do you how would you say you make the transition then?
Well,
Hire more people that aren't your friends?
hire yes, but they're professional and they'll keep everyone in line.
Yeah,
Someone who has no idea what in the like someone who knows how the market work but have no idea how to make the product. Like someone different
yeah,
completely, you know.
yeah. All right. Speaking of two-person writing team, I don't know. I think the people who wrote Blue Eye Samurai were they the writers or just the creators?
Well, they couldn't possibly animate that show by themselves.
No,
I believe
it'd
they
be
were I believe they're the writer
if
and
they did it,
director.
it'd be like 5 minutes long and would have taken years.
maybe that was
'Cause-
maybe that was the pilot.
Yeah,
Hmm.
A short film would be nice.
Maybe that's how they sold it on Netflix.
Yeah.
All right.
So, uh, hi audience. We're talking about Blue Eye Samurai.
Right, right.
Lou, do you want?
Almost forgot to point that out.
Yeah, it's a good series. Go watch it. I'm
It's on
going to say that
Netflix.
at the end so you don't forget. Yeah.
First
Also, the
episode on
first
YouTube.
episode's on YouTube. Yeah. We're finishing each other's.
Sentences. Oh my god.
Oh,
Uh,
don't don't say shit like you're reminding me of a shitty like thing that happened on Tuesday. Anyway, uh, okay, I met someone that was quite clingy. I've since blocked and deleted their number.
but I still somehow managed to drag you back here. Please unblock me.
Uh, you're all right, mate.
Yeah.
Okay,
All
first
right.
episode.
Before we
Now,
get like, if I
I
remember correctly,
I
I got you into the show.
yes, by saying there's a lot of violence, there's a lot of sex, and the villain's Irish. Now, you said that last bit because one of our friends is Irish, and I think you were trying to take the mick. Uh,
No,
having said which, you like
I just love to
it,
take a
if you're
jab at them.
yeah. Having said which, it's Kenneth Branagh, not the friend. It'd be funny if we were friends with him. It's like, so how was filming Frankenstein?
And he's just like
Have you seen that? He did Frankenstein. He was quite good at it. He was quite good in the film.
the the remake one,
No, no, the like an old version of Frankenstein.
the old timey one, the black and white one.
No, no, after that.
Okay, so there's one in the
Anyway,
middle I don't know about.
yeah. What's the newer one? Are you thinking the one with Daniel Radcliffe?
Probably the one that was borderline homosexual. Yes.
Oh yeah, that one.
Of course, I would know that one.
Of course you would. I have watched it though, and it was fine. A
Oh
lot
yeah.
of a lot of adaptations skip over the bit where the monster is supposed to look pretty. But like it's a corpse, so of course it doesn't. It has big glowing orange eyes. Although I feel like some women would still be like, yes, would.
For me, it's no. Some men even would. What do you mean, women?
Yeah.
For me, it's the part
Yeah.
where it doesn't break free.
No.
It just
It's just
stayed in. It's
it's
just
lifeless.
yeah. It just got killed out in the lab itself. Where in the original story, it broke free, and then the townfolk came.
No, it broke free and then it hung out next to a house for a while and learned English and learned to read because Mary Shelley was like, "Shut up, the details aren't important. It's about the theming," which it is. She had a really sad life
She was British.
and lost a child and like her husband was a dick. Uh,
Uh, wait. Instead, maybe that's what it takes to write good horror.
yeah, I don't want to have to suffer that much to write well.
Hey, you never know. I mean, just the other person who probably didn't suffer. The only person I know that didn't suffer much but write a lot of good horror would be the big man Lovecraft himself.
He had his own sort of problems. Like he was terrified of the world and like just people who weren't from his hometown.
But that's the thing about it. It's like if he's afraid of everything, then from his perspective, everything's scary. And the fact that he managed to
Yeah,
capture it into words is why his work is so famous.
yeah. It's a good foundation, but others have done lots of stuff with it since then. Like
The
Bloodborne. Bloodborne made it more about like motherhood
Well, at least it has a
and
theme.
like men in institutions doing horrible things to women.
Have you played Darkest Dungeon?
No, I know that the well, I played a bit of it. I know that the ancestor messed up a lot of people. Like he threw that one lady into the he threw that one lady into the sea as a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
He like drowned that hag woman who like was in her pot.
Mm.
He hired those
No,
bandits.
he just banished her. He worked with her
Uh,
for a bit and then banished her. Yeah,
and he like cut the throat of that one lady who was a vampire.
and then
No, turned.
he served the wine to the guest. Like, he was gonna do it anyway, but it just happens
Yeah,
that she's a vampire,
yeah.
and then he
What's the
served the
plot
wine
of
to the quest.
two? Isn't it? Isn't the point of two that the horrible thing in the town from the first game just spread to the world?
And the world is basically ending,
Yeah.
and you're trying to stop it.
Mhm.
It's much more deep and symbolic compared to the first one. But the first one is more like a never-ending limbo situation.
Yeah. Like you even fight like an infant great one at one point and it's in a time loop.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's always a fun trope of like, you know that thing you know this thing that could kill everyone? Yeah, that's a baby form of its kind.
Yeah, the only reason you won is because it was a baby.
Or the Dark Souls or Elden Ring thing of like, the only way you could possibly win against this is if we heavily stack the deck in your favor. And even then it's a tough fight. Like Bale. Bale is missing most of his limbs, but he's still a giant dragon that took on a different giant dragon.
Well, now that you mentioned the when you now you mention it, you gotta do the meme.
Curse you, Bale! Etc., etc.
Etc. Etc.
I can't do it justice.
No,
I
no
was
one
thinking
can.
about this earlier. You know, I have no mouth and I must scream.
Yes, I am aware of it.
Harlan Ellison did a better job at Am than anybody else could. And I know because I didn't hire a YouTuber. I asked a YouTuber to do a reading of it, and it's like, yeah, no, you're not Harlan Ellison. Harlan Ellison did a way better job at Am.
I feel like mm, I feel like he. I feel like there's probably some big voices out there that could probably rival him.
They could, but like you can't get the grump. Like that
Mm,
grumpy just hate.
maybe a little bit of
He's
like
just such
maybe a
he's
little bit of
almost smarmy.
maybe a little bit of like robot voice effect here and there.
Yeah. The Radio 4 audio drama they did of it was really good for that. Like they did a good effect on it too.
I feel like we're getting a bit off track. Back to Blue Eye Samurai.
Yeah. Right,
Yeah,
right.
right. Locked in.
This this series actually got me back onto a writing idea I'd like put on the back burner. It's sort of a feudal Japan idea, but we can talk about that after this.
Mm-hmm.
We can talk about it at the end of the series if you want, but it's still not finished.
If we have time, or we could just move it to the next episode.
True. Okay, first episode, free on YouTube. Go watch it. The point is, despite being brought into this series for fairly superficial reasons, I enjoyed its deeper themes.
And what would you say is
And
the biggest theme of the entire show as a whole, despite the obvious spoilers for any listener right now?
like race and belonging.
Mm.
I was gonna say gender, but that kinda because
A little bit into that. But that's just because it's on Netflix.
yeah, just look. Should we just say spoilers ahead from this point after a recommendation of go watch it?
You heard the man. Go watch it.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube. Pause this. Go watch that. Come back.
You know what?
We'll just be talking about the first episode.
Actually, just binge the entire series while you're at it. It's not that long. It's like what, eight
Uh,
episode,
it
12.
it depends if they have. It depends if they have Netflix.
Yahar!
Oh no, that's how I watched it.
What do you do with a drunken sailor? What do you do with a drunken sailor?
You do with a drunken sailor? What do you... The Longest Johns? They're a great band.
Yes, yes, they are. I prefer the Irish guy.
Oh,
You know, what was it?
which one?
Uh,
Uh,
the,
Cantor, the one who wrote Cantor.
no, no, no. The one that does a lot of covers. What was channel name. I used one of his songs for Calm McGinnis.
Oh, I was thinking of Jerry Cinnamon.
Ah. Anyway, that he I prefer listening to his stuff, but yeah,
All
I
right.
used one of his covers for one of my video once, and it got copyrighted, but it didn't got struck down because he allows people to use it. Lovely
Oh,
guy,
that's nice.
lovely guy.
Very nice of him. Hmm.
So we're just gonna talk about episode one, or we just gonna might as well talk about the rest of the series while we're here.
Nah. Well, I was thinking like we could do a second episode about episode 2 and then 3 and then 4.
It really drag it on, milking it for the content.
Well, also I'd like to keep doing this.
I'm sure there's other things we could talk about. We could talk about Lord of the
So,
Rings. We could talk
okay.
about Game of Thrones. There's so many we could cover.
Uh, all right. The whole series then?
Let's see how far we can get.
Yeah.
First
Right.
episode, we're gonna
Episode
like,
1.
yeah, wait, we're only like 20 minutes in. We got time.
Yeah. Right. Episode 1. Uh, opens on the scene of someone getting fucked up in a bar because it's sort of a Western inspired series.
It's a,
Oh
it's,
no.
it's a
If
Japan,
anything,
it's a Japanese series with
yeah,
with Western writing, you could say.
yeah. Like the thing I'm doing, totally trying not to. I'm really trying not to do a bad thing of representing the culture.
Because you're not even Japanese or Asian.
Nope.
Oh man, remind me of
I
the whole controversy of when like a Scottish guy made entire like writing about Indian culture despite never once setting foot in the country.
no. There was also the writer at Marvel who pretended to be Japanese so that he could be a consultant.
The world's a
Uh,
mess right now when it comes to culture. Oh,
in my story, I actively went against the idea of like protagonist fight someone at the start of the story to show how cool they are. Because like my protagonist is like really trying not to be violent.
hmm.
It's more like he ends up in a tussle, and both of them are horrified of it because they're both in like a. You ever heard of Shimabara?
The what?
The Shimabara Rebellion.
Oh yes, yes. The Christian rebellion.
Yeah, it ended in a massacre. The protagonist gets knocked into a pile of severed heads, and he's just horrified.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Isn't there
it's
that
just
one?
sad.
Isn't there that one movie where it was about a bunch of a few like two missionaries that went to Japan after that whole ordeal?
Yeah, silence.
Silence. That's the one I was thinking about. Yes.
Here it is. C.B. Cebulski. He pretended to be Japanese.
You do realize that if you keep sending me these links, I'm gonna have to put them in the description, right?
Sure. Well, you don't have to put all of them.
Oh,
Anyway,
it's on the Washington Post.
yeah, that's a pretty reputable source.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, back to the episode.
The men look like
Person.
the men look like Bricky with extra weight.
I like to think I look a bit like Bricky. I've got the forehead for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
That's because I tie my hair back.
that is true. Average white guy when he has a bit of a beard.
I look like Bricky. Well, everyone does, mate. You're not special. Okay, person shows up in bar. It's really cold outside and nobody wears jumpers.
The
Because
Japanese are
nobody's
very resilient against the nature.
good luck freezing to death then. No wonder one of them doesn't have hands. He probably froze them off.
He lied about being his dad lied about being born with them.
Yeah, he was stupid. He just got his hands frozen off.
Didn't they literally jump into like a cold ocean?
Freezing what? No, Mizu does it in episode 2. It's like, oh, I'm so badass. I have to bathe myself. Oh god, it's so cold.
No,
Why did I do this?
wasn't that literally the end of episode 1 where after
No,
no,
it's start of episode 2.
wasn't the like the big like under waterfall bath scene shower scene end of episode one,
Oh yeah.
and that was supposed to be the
Oh
big
yeah.
reveal that she's actually a woman.
Yeah. It's spoilers.
Will Rick gave you like
I
three warning at this point.
I
Okay.
was I was watching the series. Like I remember because I remember reading the messages again. Where I was like, is it? Are they supposed to sound feminine, or am I just hearing things? Like,
Uh,
oh right,
I seen it coming.
yeah. What the Mulan reference one?
Yes.
Yeah, it's like ah, yeah.
I mean, okay.
Uh,
I don't know about England, but in like East Asia, there's a lot of like cross-dressing stories besides Mulan. Mulan
yeah,
is just the iconic one.
Shakespeare did that a lot for in his comedies.
I mean, they're supposed to be comedies. I'm talking like these are like age-old stories and myths.
Yeah. I'd say Tale of Genji, but I don't think that has that.
Mm,
Uh,
that's also Asian.
True, it's Japanese, yeah. I think it's the first novel.
Mm. I mean,
Hmm.
like when was the last time you think of like cross-dressing coming up in like early? I think didn't once the Arthurian mythology had also had a cross-dressing part.
Yeah, and Achilles did it at one point when his mother tried to get him to hide from the draft.
Of course, the Greeks would do it.
Yeah. And then like Patroclus sees him as a girl and Achilles rushes over like, "This is my husband." And all the guards are like, "Man, that's a lucky man."
Oh man, you know the Greeks were drooling when that was on the amphitheater.
Uh
They just look over to their boy toy and be like, "Can we do that later?" uh, but yeah, I say I kind of see it coming because I'm used to these kind of stories.
yeah.
But did it come after you as like a surprise when they first revealed it?
A bit, but like you'd already said, like spoiled it kind of.
Oh, I did,
I
didn't I?
say it with the series, I don't know, I'm a bit desensitized to sex stuff. I feel like I expected a bit more.
What do you
I'm
mean?
not disappointed that there wasn't more.
What do you mean there wasn't more? I mean, they kind of use it for shock factor, much like Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Especially the one scene where he was just getting pegged while talking to someone.
Yeah. It's like time and place, dipshit.
What do you mean time and
No
place?
one wants
He literally said
it's a
he was.
brothel, yeah.
Yeah, he said it was going on a sex tour. He was. He's watching a lady getting tentacled in real life.
I got to that bit, I'm like, oh, that's what you meant. Yeah, I really did
You thought I was. You thought I was joking.
kinda. I'm like, oh, it actually does happen.
One of the big selling point I feel about Blue Eye Samurai is that it's just Japanese Kill Bill.
Yeah. Which is ironic because like Tarantino took from a lot of was really inspired by Japanese stuff.
It's a full circle.
Yeah. Like how Blue Eye Samurai inspired no, how Seven Samurai was then inspired Western stuff like Magnificent Seven.
And then it just keep like inspiring other
It's
stuff.
like
It's just an endless cycle.
at some point come up with original things, except we kinda can't.
It's gonna run into something. It's gonna be a mix of something, even if you try to be original.
Yeah. I'm doing that now. I kinda. It's more like how do I put this? I'm using other things as inspiration, but it it's kind of going against. Well, not really. It ends with a samurai duel at the end because I wanted a sword fight.
Sword fight,
Uh,
sword fight. Like, how can you not do a Japanese thing and not have a samurai duel? You know?
no, exactly. It's like, yeah,
What would you say would be the best part of writing? Would it be the story or the world building?
Story. World building is stuff to set up the story and the meaning of the story.
Hmm.
Can help build the meaning of the story, but you still need a like characters and a theme.
And a bloody good story.
Yeah. Unlike some stories, Game of Thrones season 8, well, that's low hanging fruit.
Yeah, give George some more time. I'm sure he's getting there.
George will never finish that book. He's too busy doing like side projects and getting distracted, or just being old.
He's doing side quests before he fight the final boss.
Fuck off.
The boss is his own creation.
Yeah. Very Frankenstein. Yeah. All right.
But would you say that he has a
So
lot of expectation on him, though?
I would, but like you already started the series.
Yeah, but that's before the
Finish it.
show. That's before the show. If I
What?
was like, let's put ourselves in his shoe. If the show mess up so much that people are looking on you for your books to fix it, don't you want to make it the best that you possibly could?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, and he's old. He's probably like, he's
Well, then let someone else finish it, like Brandon Sanderson.
no, it's his book
I'm not.
though.
Eh. Well, do something then, you old bastard. uh,
Hey, to be fair, I didn't how like
right.
how
Can we get back on topic now?
right, Blue Eye Samurai.
Yeah. Person walks into bar. Turns out they're a woman at the end. But shut up. We're moving on. They're asking for information about a white dude. No, that's from
Weapons dealer.
weapon seller, and cuts off a guy's fingers.
And it's like
Uh,
the whole scene is to show that Japan still had slavery back then, but it's purely mostly for
yeah,
sex working.
yeah. And this is was it 1650s or 1660s?
They never give us the exact date, but we can more or less
No,
assume where the time is. Like the country's united, they have a shogunate.
I
They,
I think is this before or after the Shimabara rebellion then?
I,
Because like Christians did show up en masse and like start converting and stuff.
they did lock down the country after the rebellion,
Yeah,
and they're in lockdown right now. So you assume it's after.
yeah,
I also see a lot more like people walking around wearing crosses.
yeah. The only anime I remember was to cover Shimabara was Ninja Resurrection,
I never heard of that.
and that there's an anime abandon episode on it. It's quite good.
Hmm. Ninja.
So white people aren't really allowed in Japan because, well, if you look at what happened with Shimabara, it's like, they let a new religion in, and that messed us up. New plan, no more white people.
No more any people except the
Yeah,
Portuguese. They're cool.
they're cool. They helped us against the rebels.
We kind of just lured them towards their place, made it their responsibility to take care of, but we're allowed on trade.
Yeah,
And the whole story is that she's trying to hunt down the person who basically gave birth to her. Her
one of the
bastard
person that
father.
fathered her. Yeah.
Yes, her bastard father, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And back then there were 3 white men that stayed behind Japan, and that would have like
Four.
a ball of a time, basically.
Yeah, four.
Four. It's been a while since
Yeah.
I've seen the show. My bad.
Yeah, it's fine.
4 men, 4 white men, and one of them could be her, basically father. Anyone, because she's half white. She got blue eyes, hence Blue Eye Samurai. Despite the fact that
Yeah.
she's not a samurai, she's just someone who's good with a sword.
Yeah. Like I wish I kind of wish they'd address more of the issue of samurai. That they did, like they messed up a lot of peasants.
They're peasants. They're expendable.
Yeah, which is something that I cover in my story. Of like one of the characters is a peasant who killed a samurai in self-defense, and they're like, "Well, off to the woods with you."
Yeah, basically worse sin than dying.
Yeah,
And that character is trying to find it, so they try and find a person, so they can kill them, get their revenge on
yeah,
them, and that one of
because
them is still in Japan.
being
Spoilers.
mixed race sucks because the children are little shits. Because children are little shits most of the time.
Well, they didn't get much better when they grew up, now didn't they?
No, little. He turned into quite a big shit, but then he goes through a counter arc, and we like him at the end.
Yeah, yeah. I say they did.
I like.
Would you say they did a good job, like doing his whole arc alongside her?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like he almost get overshadowed by her. It's like he's very much the B plot.
Yeah, I like it. He at the end he's like, I don't want to be great. I want to be happy. Which like people can. I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. It's like you don't need to be fucking a senator or whatever the equivalent today would be.
You don't have to be a doctor as long as you have a job. That is a very Asian
Yeah.
thing to want,
Or being a doctor.
or just making a lot of money. But at the end of the day, you just want to be
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah.
The doctor is the stereotype that everyone keeps talking about. You know.
Yeah. Or mathematician, because Asia. It's that thing of like Asians are good at math, but I, I'm not sure where that comes from. I guess it's because they have good tech.
No, it's just
Well,
that
in
we just
Japan,
have
anyway.
our um our education standard for math is much higher.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Let's see now. I remember correctly. One of my like family friend who said that he's doing like ninth grade math, but compared to Vietnamese math, it's only sixth grade for us.
Oh,
So yeah, we have
so
much
this
higher standards for our youth when it comes to math.
person, yeah, I never
Right?
liked maths.
No one does.
This person is this person is looking for their father, and their father-in-law was, oh no, their adopted father was this blind blacksmith, who I we're introduced to him via this
Meteor.
what is it? Meteor, and I expected the meteor to kill one of those children.
And he just
It's
picked it,
like,
and he
oh
just.
no, I'm.
Can you imagine? He just walked up and he didn't even see the kid. So he's just like, ding, ding. Oh, this one's a bit wet. Must be from the
Ah.
rain. He just picks it up and goes with it.
Uh,
The steel was
or
tempered
it's
by
like,
blood.
or it's like, the child's dead. We're in Japan in the 1600s. Life has no meaning.
No, it would be funny if
Life
he.
has no value, rather.
It would be funny if he was blind. He didn't even notice the kid was under the meteor.
Well, Mizu's dead. Time paradox. It's like, wait, how did I die and then come back here? Oh no, I'm a ghost.
That's her. Oh god, that's her superpower. I'm
It
glad they
might as
did.
well be if you see the later episodes.
Yeah, might as
Where
well.
it's like, you are Wolverine at this point.
Yeah, she heals like a D&D character.
Or Daredevil. No, it's more like Daredevil, where like you see the pain she's in, but it's like, oh, I'm so tough and tortured. Uh,
Like a lot of the scene feels like it would make for a good video game.
yeah. The fucking tower bit where she like dunks her head in water to regain health.
That's and that's like taking a short rest in D&D term.
Uh, it's a good series, but there are some problems with it.
It's not well. Can you blame them? It's like their first try. Cut them. We can
True.
cut them a bit of a slack.
I'm not going to blame them for it.
It's been out for like what 2 years now, and we're still talking about it.
All right. So they're trying to find their dad. Well, bastard dad.
Bastard father, sire.
Yeah, sure. With they mentioned Sword Father, and that's where we get the flashback to
To the blind blacksmith. Yeah.
uh and their upbringing,
Mm-hmm. Do you want
and
to
the
talk about that
like
a
the
bit?
weird glass. The glasses are strange, but it's an interesting way to be like, yeah,
I mean, it looks
like
cool.
they, yeah.
I say it's there mostly for
Uh,
aesthetic, but it's also there to like hide her eyes.
I meant the paper one. She had when she was a kid.
Okay, that was just a kid thing to do.
Yeah,
You never make glasses or masks as a kid out of paper.
yeah. I remember making a man bat one.
So yeah, so it's not that out of the ordinary. They're kids. They'll find a way to entertain
Yeah.
themselves, even if they're homeless,
Yeah.
an orphan, and
And if
blue
you're
eye.
not homeless and an orphan, you run after the homeless kid and throw rocks at them.
Call them names, call them looking like the devil, and almost kill them with a rock. Remember how crazy that was?
I was like, oh god. I'm like, please, Meteor, kill one of them.
Specifically, the one with the rock. That'd be so ironic.
It's like, haha, from run.
And the blood just splattered everywhere.
And
Mizu's
the and he's yeah, Misa's just like, win's a win.
She's a scar for life, but then Sword Father just walks up and like, heaven drops a gift. It just pick up the rock and doesn't even notice the dead body.
Like, it's like, oh, a kid's dead. Fuck him.
Yeah. Didn't even know him. Didn't even see him.
Yeah. All
Also,
right.
a bit of a writing nitpick, but you you notice how quickly he showed up as soon as the meteor dropped. Like he's blind and he's just show up with a wagon like seconds after it just dropped.
Yeah. Well, they didn't want to show like waiting for ages.
And the first episode was more of how basically how she grew up, how she ended up in this situation, and what she's trying to do. It really does a good job establishing that.
Mhm.
It builds up the mystery of
I,
who was these white men and why does she want to kill them. But
which was a really good. I love the. There's this one shot of like her explaining it, and she shows like a silhouette of a pregnant woman, like the belly swelling until it bursts and a demon pops out. But it's all in silhouette and smoke.
and when I mean that is also how she is described a lot. Like
Yeah.
what's the
Which
Japanese
like
word for again?
Onryo.
Onryo.
Onryo. And
Onryo.
it's like you could
Ding ding.
I went out of my way not to use that in the story where it's like, okay, what's a Japanese monster I could use? Dragon. I used a dragon because the monk's like, I don't want a story about death and violence. Can you just tell me a happy story? And the woman telling is like, okay, I'll try.
There's not a lot of those I can pick from, but no, there's a
There's not a
few.
lot. Yeah, there's not a lot. Of them. I'll make one up and then skip over the violent bits. You like dragons, right? Yeah, sure.
You white people like those things, right? You mentioned them a lot. It's like a completely different dragon.
I mean, ours have wings. Oh, cool. Are yours gods? No. We have one on the Welsh flag, though. Who cares? It's Wales. Uh,
It's a cool
like
flag.
even Japan knows Wales are. I don't know. Wales are fine.
Uh, they're 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 nice folk. The few of them that
Mm.
actually goes out of Wales to meet people.
Mm.
And would you say the first episode does a good job of selling the series?
Yes.
Well, you heard the man. Go watch it on YouTube. If you haven't, we
Yeah.
already spoil you more than enough.
If you have, hi, welcome to a podcast, I guess. Uh,
we're like 30 minutes in, and now you said that.
yeah, just, please don't leave.
Wait, no, we're entertaining. We swear. Please, please, please.
What was it?
Is there anything else that I
Mizu's
like?
interesting. I find Ringo to be, he's a bit annoying in episode 1, but I'm like, he's fine.
He grows on you a little
Yeah.
bit. He grows on me very late, but he does eventually.
Yeah.
Like I like
Ties him to a tree and he somehow gets out of it. It's
despite
like
having
Shrek
no
and
hands.
Donkey at this point. It's like,
You have no hands, and he got out.
giant, giant handless man. Look at me. What am I?
You're a freak
Shorter
like
than
me.
me.
You're a freak like me. And I say that's a good.
No.
I say that's a good way to look at the Japanese mentality. It'd be like being half Japanese is almost being as bad as being born deformed.
Which, it's like, oh, you racist pieces of shit. Having said which, white people were probably as racist back then. Or still are in some place. Everybody's a bit racist. You look at the Serbs. The Serbs are racist to the. I know a few Serbs. It's like Jesus.
But let's not get into the Balkans.
Oh
Okay,
God.
but yeah, it's like a free for all down there. But I say there's a lot of more like cultural mixing around your part of the world. Even
Yeah.
even
I
even on the Isles, that's like what four ethnicity and culture mixing with each other over
yeah.
history.
A lot of people invading other people. Because like you got the Celts and then the Anglo-Saxons and then
The
no Celts,
Normans,
Romans, Saxons, Normans, Vikings. But didn't the Vikings come before the Normans?
the Viking became the Normans. The one that stayed behind and
Yeah.
made a deal with the French, they become the Normans.
Yeah. It's interesting.
Huh. And yeah, I'd say there's a lot more mixing of culture that your side. The Japanese, it's just them and the Ainu. And even then, they mostly ignore each other.
Because they're like the Ainu were more hunter gatherers, and then the Koreans and the Chinese showed up and colonized, or like spread their culture.
They try to spread their influence, but most of the time, Japan, they stay their own thing. They're like the
Yeah.
isolationist own little island. So to them, they have a very isolationist ideal and culture. That's why.
Hence the calling mixed race people demons.
Yeah. I say it's a little bit.
So,
We don't. I mean, if you want to know the Vietnamese perspective on mixed kids,
sure.
we don't see them as demons. We see them as like lost. We almost pity them. We're the kind of
Yeah.
we would look at them and like if we had a family that's mixed, we would let them and they come visit us. We would look at them and like, oh, does he know how to do this? Does he know how to do that? Is he one of us basically? Like we would pity them, and then instead of giving him chopstick, we would give him like a spoon. Not because we
And
hate
it's
them,
like
but because we care.
I'd appreciate that because I don't know how to. Well, I can't use chopsticks. It's like, it's like using a pencil, but there's another pencil.
Yeah, that's how they told
Yeah.
me to do it when I grew up.
In
Just hold it like a pen.
in episode 2, the guy messes up the assassins mess up another guy because he mildly insulted them. Like,
No, he didn't
it.
insult them. He just
Come
told them.
on.
He just told them to quiet down. They're trying to eat. That's all he said.
It. Have some respect. You're in a restaurant.
But I guess it's okay. Two things. First, they are famous mercenaries known for being ruthless, so they gotta uphold an image. Second, that guy was just a little bit annoying.
Hmm.
uh,
It's a western. The civilians are gonna get butchered.
I mean, then they literally ride down both civilian and two town guards. Literally, the scene next afterwards,
Hmm.
like when they were trying to get in the city, and there was like a line,
Hmm.
and they just charged right at them, and even the guards were like, "Get everyone in!"
Uh,
Like even the guards were afraid of them, that just show that they are like famous bandits and cutthroats.
anyway, episode 1. Traveling. Mizu gets to a city and is asking about a dojo, like a specific dojo.
Uh huh.
I think, yeah, because the weapons dealer has a brother who runs a dojo. So he's like, well, I'll go to the dojo then. Gets to the town. The local prostitutes are like, no. She goes, sees a bunch of like swordsmen, and they're like, haha, let's mess with this stranger.
Send
Um,
him to a brothel.
yeah.
And when she got there, they're like, "No, it's that way." But then when
It's
Ringo show
with the
up,
creepy statues. Uh, Ringo shows up and she just looks back, it's like,
keep him distracted.
uh,
Keep him distracted
how
for
much
three
for a
days.
night here? What was it? Yeah, 3 days. She just looks by him and mulls over. It's like, how much for 3 nights?
I assume he
Uh,
gets food and rest there too for 3 nights.
it's like, yeah.
God, imagine if he could just get like endless pumpkin and peaches for 3 nights.
Some context to that. They compare breasts and bottoms to, what was it,
Pumpkin and
peaches and
peaches.
pumpkins.
Peaches and pumpkins.
No, yeah. Which
Mm.
I guess, because like it's more about firmness than it is like color or anything.
Also a bit more on the
I
side.
painted I painted my bottom bright orange.
Oh man. Also, happy
Uh,
Halloween, everyone.
Happy Halloween.
I can't believe that's what reminds me of it.
Fuck's sake. Ah,
Oh man.
so that was the bit where I'm like, oh yeah, nudity.
They
Yeah,
just YouTube just allowed that.
yeah. It's like, yeah, fine.
It's artistic.
It's, it's nice and yeah, it's all right.
Maybe they like maybe the guy who had to approve it liked it a bit too much.
Yes, more of this. Just in caps.
Enough of this VTuber stuff. Make more of this. Uh,
Uh,
I say it covers the first episode covers everything you would expect from Blue Eye Samurai. You know,
yeah,
sex, shock factor, violence, racism, symbolism.
all the good things.
Yep, annoying Ringo.
Yeah, he gets better.
He
I don't
does.
find him that bad.
He even has a little bit of growth.
Yeah.
And at the end of the first episode, after she beat up everyone in the dojo, she basically
Oh yeah.
TPOs and
She also meets what's the
Kai.
swordsman guy's name?
Kai? Was it Kai?
Tai. No, it's something. Not Akebi, that's the lady. Takeshi?
Something like
Oh.
Akashi? No, not Akashi. That's the guy from Naruto.
Yeah, that'd be weird. It just
We
shows
should
up.
we should have
Hi, I'm
we should
also
have
here.
rewatched we should have rewatched this
Yeah.
before there's done
But,
this.
but yeah.
Taigen.
Yeah. But she's like, oh, this your skills are also trash.
You're all
But she's talking
trash.
about their technique. And it's like, how many duels have you won? And she looks around at all the men she beat up with a practice sword. Should I have been counting?
Like, should I have been keeping track? It's such a power move.
Yeah. It's like, I just beat the shit out of all your friends. Do you really want to duel me? Yes, I'm better than them. Dick move.
Especially like the big master that has like the entire sword mark on his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. Like I love and love the part where he has no teeth, but he still comes in swinging.
Mm.
It's
Or
like,
she does the like power unlimit thing where she takes off her weights. It's
oh,
like, wouldn't that really hurt? Wouldn't that really hurt your limbs? Although you get used to it, I guess.
yeah. Hey,
Well,
Sid.
if
I mean,
she's had them for a while,
mm,
sorry,
I'm sure she can adjust them to make it more comfortable.
yeah.
It's just one of those things
Although
where
we
you don't
see what
notice.
they also, yeah, we see what they do later, which I found really cool.
Uh,
Anyway, uh, she beats him at a duel, cuts off his top knot, and takes the little gold. Oh yeah, he has a girlfriend, and she's in the higher up. She's one of the nobility, and she gave him this little gold,
comb.
like hair ornament. Her name's Akemi. She like her
Basically a
family are a bunch
princess.
of shit.
She's basically a
Yeah,
little princess, yeah. A minor princess,
and
more or less.
her dad's a noble. Her little brother's a piece of crap.
He can barely walk. Give that little baby a break.
He's terrible at his food, and no one tells him no.
Just like a true lord should be.
Little Joffrey in the making.
Mm-hmm. Oh, not anymore. His dad dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
Tommen was all right.
Tommen got mostly ignored compared to Joffrey. Joffrey,
Yeah,
Joffrey got a lot of backhand from Robert. That's probably why.
yeah, little sociopath. Isn't he like a teenager in the books?
Like what, 13, 14, somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, but in the show he's what? He looks like he's in his 20s.
I think no. He looks like he's like somewhere between 16, 17.
Yeah.
I think the actor is just
I remember like when he shows her Ned's head and she just like moves forward a bit as if to push him, and then the Hound's like, no, stop it.
no. You don't want to do that. And then he ended up getting poisoned accidentally.
No, not even accidentally. Like, Olenna poisoned him.
I thought Olenna was trying to poison Tyrion because he drank from Tyrion's cup.
No, no, it was to poison. It was to poison. Uh, it was to stop Marjorie from marrying Joffrey.
Was it? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Because the mix-up is everyone
So
think it's Tyrion because he the one who handed the
yeah,
cup. Yeah,
he was.
that's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, he gave the cup. So
Uh,
Akemi's around, and she's this noble lady. Uh, what's his face is
she's
her.
very much the girl power character, the more realistic one,
Yeah,
so the people won't complain about Mizu being too much of a girl power
you.
character.
I know Critical Drinker said he liked this series, but I tend to doubt his opinions.
I feel like
And chances are he liked it.
a lot more
Yeah,
like big reviewers should watch the show.
agreed.
How woke is Blue Eye Samurai?
Kind of, well, quite a bit, but who cares if it's woke?
Look. I feel like a lot of shows these days that focus too much on the woke side fail to make it a good story.
Yeah. It it deals with things you would consider woke, given that it deals with race and gender, but it does them in a good way.
And disability.
But it also manages to be interesting.
With good writing.
Yeah.
Well, because the one of the writers literally half Asian, so they probably have a lot of
Yeah.
experience in that field.
They're like, I know about this. Uh,
This happened to me literally last Friday.
yeah, from the guy at the coffee shop.
Literally down the street.
I don't know. We're making that up. We don't know about that for certain.
Well, I know that they're married and she's half Asian, so yeah. So she probably, I
Hmm.
mean, she grew up half Asian, so she probably have experience on it.
Yeah. I'm glad I'm just part Ukrainian. I don't have to deal with this shit.
I think I'm like a quarter Chinese on my mother's side. That's about it.
Oh, nice. My mum's from Manchester. Although I'm a bit Greek on her side. Apparently, her grandma like had a kid with a Greek bloke that just left.
Now that's basically the first episode now, isn't it? They did, and the episode end on a big dramatic reveal of her taking a quick shower under the waterfall, showing that
Yeah,
she's, you know, a woman. She
a
got
woman.
peaches. They're a bit squished, but they're there.
Which, like, I remember saying, like, if she has to flatten them all the time, wouldn't that really, really hurt?
I think it's very much one of those things where you kind of grow into it and you don't even notice.
Hmm,
Then again, none of us have, no, neither of us have, peaches to compare. So
agreed.
unless you're hiding something, hmm.
Oh no. Uh, yes, I've been trans this entire time.
I
Just
knew
shut
it.
up. Fuck off. Uh,
And oh yeah, did they reveal who Fowler was on the first episode?
they showed him, but I don't think they said like, "Oh, he's a person.
No,
This is so and so."
they just had him like sitting menacingly in the background. Yeah,
Haha, I'm here. I don't have any lines yet.
I'm the dramatic evil guy. Which credit to the
Yeah,
writer, they made him a fairly realistic bad guy. Like they made him the worst bad guy possible, but also like you kind of get where he comes from and how he ended up like that.
especially when he gives that speech, it's like, "Oh, this. Oh, uh."
Yeah, like you can
I
see,
get someone who went through that much being like, I'm not letting myself be that vulnerable ever again.
and you can see like the the other guy, the weapons dealer, literally have the same reaction as you did as he listened to the story.
But it's like, oh, oh no.
Oh, it's gonna be one of
I
those.
like my fa- I think a really good line, like his first line is in episode 2 is, you don't have to, or it's like, you pay people to do a job you don't want to do, so you don't have to think about it. That's the point of having money.
Mm,
It's like, oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
yeah, because I do it all the time.
Yeah. Or it's like, this is what commissions are for, you idiot. Stop worrying about it.
Stuff. They sound like a married couple, don't they?
Yeah. Uh, that'd be cute.
Look, if you're trapped in a tower that long with only
For
another
10
man,
years?
yeah, you kind of
Like,
grow to understand each other like a married couple.
yeah.
Considering all the depravity he gets into, I have no doubt those two kind of had a little fun now and then.
They must have tried it at least once.
Oh, clear, at least twice.
Yeah.
Also, like you would not expect Fowler to be good with a sword, but that man is a tank compared to most Japanese people back then.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say, in the in the episode where they do fight, it looks like he has super speed or or strength. It's like, is it just because he's a giant white dude?
Probably. I mean, you see how big he is compared to like both Mizu and Taigen.
It's like when it's like when Wolverine was in Japan in the films, where it's like, I remember because my mum turned to me and said, "Well, they're gonna find him easily. He's like a head taller than most of them."
Unless he goes around like Tokyo where all the tourists are.
Yeah, I think they were in Tokyo. Well, no, they might have been somewhere else.
Uh, no. What if Fowler's superpower is that he's Irish?
I'm sta- I have good constitution from eating potato. Well, but no, potatoes and milk curd.
Ugh, God. I thought that was an Irish thing at first. It was like, almost like like a like an early yogurt,
Yeah,
and it turns out no, he's just trying to say that he grew up poor.
yeah.
Do you think?
I quite. It's a good episode. It
Mhm.
gets you in. Ah,
Very much get you hooked for more, and then that's where you start
yeah,
binging the rest of the series.
yeah.
All right, that's we've been here for like about an hour. You want to go keep going for another hour?
Uh, I'd say. Wait, we're just. Oh wait, we no, we're doing the whole series, aren't we? Or just.
I mean, we're
I wouldn't
going
mind
as
doing episode. Oh,
we basically just did episode one. We could just keep going.
uh, I've got work today. Do you think we could do more at a later date?
Sure, mate. Around this time.
Yeah,
All right. So what? Each episode is gonna be in an hour long. Are you sure you can't push it for two?
yeah. I work.
Come on, mate. One more hour.
All right, fine. Edit
Yeah.
this. Either edit this bit out or somehow make it funny. I don't know how
It's just
arguing over what one of us wanted to leave is funny.
it's just me with puppy eyes on my knees begging you to stay.
It's just like no, it's just your head getting larger and larger on the
just
screen.
just slowly zooming in on my face.
Uh, there was a fun bit in like a reaction I saw to episode 5, where one was like, "Wow, we're gonna have to censor a lot of this." Hey, editor, put my face over the tits. It's just his smiling face over it.
Just put peaches everywhere on the screen, like the peach emoji.
Yeah. Oh no, pumpkins as well.
Pumpkins. Would you say? I think you asked you this before,
Like,
but would you say you're a
I'd
peach
say
man or a pumpkin man?
in real, it depends on the size really, but I do like pumpkins as a concept more.
Pumpkins. That's
If it's between if it's between those if it's between those two women, the pumpkin one, she seems nice.
mm-hmm. Yeah, you
But
see,
it's like this like older, slightly larger woman.
you see that you see how British he is when he prefer them like his ladies thick. That's a very British thing to be into.
Okay, is it just an Asian thing of like we like them tiny? Like
Um,
tiny and diminutive. But it's like diminutive and demure.
that's a good way to say. For the longest time, I say the standard would be very much slender women.
Hmm.
Long
Which
legs.
then I
Long
guess
legs is the stereotype we usually mention.
oh.
I'd say it's slowly changing these days, but for most people, it's still that.
Right. I remember someone describing Rebecca from Cyberpunk as like a very good example of Puerto Rican women, and I
What?
responded back of like, wait, so they wear little clothes and are very shouty? And he said, no, I think his point was more that they are like small.
Ah, I know
I
where I'm
guess
going next.
I'm not. I want a I want a woman who doesn't look like that. Well, that's short anyway. I don't know. I had a
What?
I had a long
You don't like
distance
to manhandle
girlfriend, and
women? You don't like to throw them around like a little
grab,
like a rag doll?
grab the. Oh, sure, grab them by the ankles and brandish them. Uh,
uh, all right. So since we still have like an hour to go, how about let's just move on to episode two?
okay. They sent short version. Misa gets a bunch of assassins sent after her. Turns out she met one of the assassins when she was a kid, and he got a broken blade from the blacksmith.
Mostly broken, a little bit broken.
A bit broken. It's more of a short. It's more like a Wakazashi at that point.
Hey, if he can still use it, it's a pretty good. Credit to Sword
Yeah,
Father.
it's like
If a
the
broken sword can still be used for all those years, it's a pretty
yeah
damn good sword.
the metal is basically magic at this point, right?
No, it wasn't even made out of meteorite. It was just really good steel.
From a meteorite.
No, no, only her sword is made out of meteorite.
Oh,
His sword was just really good.
it's like Ghost of Tsushima, where there's not really magic, but it's like spiritualism stuff. Like the
Yeah.
talismans. The talismans are just gameplay.
Yeah, I can't say that. Like, they never straight up show any kind of magic. Most of it's pretty grounded.
Yeah. It'd be funny if see that like I could see a less I could see a dumber show doing like having Mizu be a ghost woman or something.
They give her, like, powers to see into the future or something like that.
No, I was thinking more like ghost like scary ghost powers.
It's like her eyes start glowing if you start phasing through enemies.
Yeah, that'd be cool. God damn it, I kinda want to see that, but like no.
Yeah, it ruins the vibe of the show because the show mostly to show like
Yeah,
how awful a human can be in realistic situation.
yeah. Which gets more into episode 5 really.
Hmm.
This
We get the first scene of the bad guy Fowler talking.
I love that bit. I love that line of like if I have time where he's like he talked about being in this tower and doing like his painting. He's painting really well. He just has this moment of like, I hate painting and woodworking and just crafts stuff. If I have time to paint, something is wrong.
I've been
He's such a
sitting.
good.
I want to do something productive, and all I have to do is draw for 10 years. I'll be pissed too.
Yeah. It's like, and you look at that woodwork, you're doing great.
And
Like,
then he burns
that's
it.
not the point of shit. It's like, no, I like that one.
I
I don't
wanted
think that's what
I wanted it on my wall. It lets you sound like a mom that just goes, "I want it on the fridge."
Ah. And then it cuts over and there is a corpse and a dead bull that he was using as a reference. It's like,
Also, that guy was probably just a random soldier that didn't deserve it.
it's like, we need a corpse. You're dead. Huh?
Me playing Shadow of War, walking past by one of my own minions.
Hmm. Hey, let's throw you off a cliff. Huh? Fum.
Also, those soldiers that stay in his tower probably get paid a lot more than regular soldier just to deal with his
Yeah,
shit.
'cause it's like, and the boss is using his weird, like, mirror camera thing again. That's so weird.
Yeah, I forgot that. Like he could switch between. He was using basically an early version of like a telescope to be cameras. That's very creative.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like, well, we need the baddie to see where they're going. Fuck it. Mirrors. I don't know. That's
Strings,
possible, right?
mirrors, better than magic.
Oh.
So
Right.
let's see now. Yes, the main A plot for the whole episode 2 is the assassin. The B plot is Taigen going after her, and then Akechi following after him later on.
Yeah. And they don't get to the giant bloke until episode 3.
No.
Giant bloke's episode 3. Yeah. And yeah, and they Ringo and Mizu, they visit a town that's in the midst of a festival.
Hmm.
It's nice there. It's this nice seaside place. Bloody freezing by the looks of it.
And everyone's literally just like in half naked kimonos.
Yeah, I guess because they're peasants, they don't have like enough to make full kimonos.
Or there's just They're just used to it.
Yeah.
They could have different standards there. Like, I
Yeah.
seen some people shivering at like what, 10 degrees,
Yeah.
and I'm just over here like, give me a scarf, I'll be fine.
I wouldn't. I like my big winter coat
They're
and
very
my trapper keeper hat.
they're comfy. But I'm just saying people have different standards.
Yeah. So they're visiting this. I forget what Mizu's visiting it for.
She's taking a
I
boat,
think just
but
to,
they're in the middle of a festival, so they can't take her.
yeah. So it's like yeah, we. I love that bit. It's like wait, no, no, we'll take it tomorrow. We've had too much to drink now. Like, they're responsible about that.
Responsible boat drivers.
Yeah, you have to be. It's the river. The sea's scary. It could kill you.
Or this, like if they start driving, a samurai cop just shows up and give them a ticket.
Who's in a smaller boat?
Hmm. He just start eyeing Misu, and it's like, oh, come on, show me your
Hmm.
ID. Hmm.
I don't have ID. Did
Ah,
they have one?
they kind. They need travel pass. I guess that kind of counts.
Yeah, true. That's something I put in my book where it's like, oh yeah, road stops. It's like,
Yeah,
okay, one gets like one two people get through by just stealing passes from someone else. The other guy gets through, but it's implied and it's because he's a monk. He's one of those monks where they were just allowed to travel.
because they're monks.
Yeah. Komuso, that's what they're called, the ones with the baskets on their heads.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They use the basket a lot in like early modern media. They don't use them as much anymore. But back in the old days, they use those baskets to hide faces a lot. Like,
Yeah, which it's kind of a cool look. Like just this like you can't see their face. You don't know what they're thinking.
but it's long enough for them to like slit something underneath.
Yeah. Like food. Like they need to eat.
Hmm. Or just like a straw through the gap.
Or like oh no, they also do like flute playing.
Hmm. Yeah, that's so
Thing
they
with
just
that.
stick the flute right through the gap. Yeah,
No, under the basket. They
I'm
don't
just
put
saying.
it through the
I'm just saying.
basket.
I'm just saying it'd be funny if just stick it through the hole right in the middle.
No, that looks silly.
Yeah, and to I say a very beautiful scene they did is like the sword making scene where Sword Father make
Yeah, the forging.
does a whole ritual about it, very mythical
Yeah.
about it. While she in the back get trained by this jerk, this commissioner that seems like a good guy at first.
It's like, oh, you're an assassin. Here's your sword anyway.
Oh well, we already made it, so might as well.
Alright. Yeah. It's like, oh, a broken sword, even better.
And I believe one of the first line that show that he's a bit of a jerk is when he said that, "Wow, like you are weak, just like the rest of your half breed stock." Like
Uh,
it's a little bit of a both racism and classism because he probably considered himself a samurai and she's a peasant.
yeah,
Ah, and later on is Akechi getting married to literally one of the son of the shogun,
yeah.
and
Who turns out he's actually a pretty cool dude.
she just got a bit of stutter.
Yeah, it's like, hey, you're fine.
Hey, great guy. He also got married into it, but he also tries his best to like her.
Yeah.
It's just his mom is being a bit controlling about it.
Oh, she was horrible. It's like, hey, here's all this horrible food we're gonna feed you.
She's testing her.
Yeah. Here's that bird you liked that your husband shot by accident? Well, because like he just thought, oh, a bird, shoot.
He probably just thought it was like a bird. Yeah.
It's like she walks up and is like, What the fuck is wrong with you?
And then she ate it anyway.
Yeah. It's like, if I don't eat it, they'll think I'm weak. And I like the prostitute lady being like, "Stop looking to other people for strength. Do it. You want something? Do it. Take it. Do it yourself."
Mm-hmm. But don't, but not like by brute forcing it. Pull the string. Be a politician. I feel like a lot of like modern writer for female character miss that. Like they don't think that as
Mm.
strong. They think
I
Mizu as strong. They
I
don't
have
think Akechi as strong.
I
Akemi.
have I have two female characters in my story. One's a shinobi, so like female ninja weren't really a thing. The word kunoichi was invented by like a writer later on. So she'd just be a spy, but she's a spy, so she's not really. She has some physical strength because she has to like carry shit around a lot of the time, but she's not a fighter. She like sneaks into places and uses disguises.
Mm-hmm. And
And the other is like the lady who killed a samurai in self-defense, and she's been living in the woods, and she has physical strength, and she's also really tall, so people keep
mm,
calling her an oni.
does she have abs? I keep
So
forgetting to ask you that.
I guess we don't really see her without her shirt on.
I feel like that's something you should definitely change for no particular reason.
Oh, sure. But I get the idea of like having women not have physical strength. But then
Like,
you get the complaint of like, oh, women can be strong, physically strong too. But like, it is nice to see women who are like just competent.
yeah, competency is strength,
Yeah.
especially if you have a husband who is in charge, but he has a stutter, and you get to talk for him. That's that's a lot of
Mm.
power on your part.
I It's a very Japanese thing of like women are strong in service to someone else.
It's an Asian thing. I feel like the famous Chinese empress, the one and only Wu Zetian, like she was pulling strings since she got to the palace.
Yeah. Have
So,
you seen Shogun?
God, I keep wanting to go see it. I keep forgetting to.
It's good. Go watch it.
Make me.
The the main white guy and that sounds like Tom Hardy, and it's kind of funny.
No, the common thing I seen I thought I seen about it is that he looks like Sea Dog VA.
I've seen that. It's like, oh god, I can't unsee it now.
Just another white guy
Uh,
looking like another white guy with a beard,
yeah, and like pale sandy hair.
and
Well,
they're
it's like
both
sandy brown.
in Japan.
Yeah. Quick, bring Garnt in. See what he does.
He's like a Thai missionary or like a Thai traveler.
That makes sense. There was probably some crossover between the two countries.
Probably. Back then they would probably call it the Kingdom of Siam. Probably.
Mm.
And
Ah.
then Joey's the half blood that got demonized by everyone. And
Oh no.
we got the trio all formed up.
That'd be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, cool reference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh but Akechi is basically being forced into a situation, as we've probably seen a lot, happens a lot in medieval ages, where a, a princess is forced to marry someone she doesn't love, or
Yeah.
but even though it's like literally the most important person in the world, she never met them, she don't know if she likes her. Oh, she heard about him. Her future engagement is that he likes his women with black teeth. He like he like them pearly blacks.
Yeah. All right. The black teeth thing, that is a thing they did, and it also helped keep your teeth clean. So I get her being like, oh, I don't like it, but people did do it.
Apparently, some people found it sexy back then.
I guess.
Hey, you can't see the bad part of your teeth. You can't see your teeth in the dark.
Yeah. Just anyway. Ah! Just someone doesn't get spooked. No, no, it's like glow in the dark. Oh god, glow in the dark teeth.
Why you gotta go there?
Uh,
Uh, I think glow in the dark lipstick kind of work.
I like black lipstick.
Who doesn't these days? Golf girls are all the
Yeah,
craze.
I like goth girls. I like goth or alt girls.
Hmm.
What's the difference? Alt's more punk, isn't it?
I don't know. We don't have much. A lot of. We don't have many punk left these days. They aren't.
Yeah,
They aren't really a thing anymore, are they?
yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, that's the situation she
So,
gets put in. She
uh,
gets scared, so
yeah.
she tried to
Dark
run away with
and
Mr. Tyken.
her like the servant is like her uncle basically, who's like
Her
her
father
works for
figure,
her dad.
Seki.
Yeah, voiced by George Takei, which great performance.
Everything he
Everybody does
does
a
is
great
amazing.
performance.
Everything he does is amazing.
Yeah, I love. He hired those bandits, didn't he?
No, I think they genuinely got robbed.
Uh,
They,
I love that she was that in episode 3. I love the bit where she just throws the shoe at the one woman. It's like,
and
and
then
then it just looks back. It's like, I'm taking your shoes. Fuck you.
yeah, the woman backhands her and then take her shoes anyway, because she's a noble, so that even that probably worth money.
Yeah,
No, the twist is that he expected it would happen, so he shows that he had just enough money to get a ride home.
yeah.
That's
On
episode
like
3.
a shit cart. On like a shit cart.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah. And it's like, well, we're back
No,
home. No, I don't want to go home. Oh, for God's sake.
yeah, no. Like the way to keep going was to get on a shit cart, but then he's like, turns out I still have some money, just enough to rent some horses back. And
Mhm.
he was
It's like,
basically being smug about it, and that's probably what pushed her to keep going. He was like, "Yeah, I knew this was happen. Now come on, be a good girl and let's go home." And she's like, "No, I'm gonna pretend to be a prostitute."
that'll somehow work. Well, it does work, but like, good grief.
Yeah.
That's episode 3, though. Episode 2, Mizu fights the assassins. But going back to that,
Oh yeah.
uh, I really wanted one of them to like jump down, slip, and just fall to his death. Because like she does a thing of like, oh, I'm gonna fall back dramatically onto this like
Cliff.
outcropping of rock because we're on a cliff
Mm-hmm.
and we'll fight there.
And then she
And
lands on her hand.
yeah, that's cool. Like
Yeah.
Jesus, her wrist must really hurt.
He's probably used to it.
All right, pause the fight. Ow,
Ow.
ow.
Owie. Ow. Ow. Time out. Time out.
I want.
I want my
Feel some
sword
time.
father.
Ah, this was a huge mistake. Huge mistake. Uh,
I think one of the bandits did kind of almost slip. I think it was slippery, and the one almost did.
yeah, I had that in the book. That happened in the book, but one of the hunters jumps down after some people. He just falls and breaks his neck. Just oh, like cracks his head on a rock,
What book?
and then the other hunters are
Oh,
like,
your
"Oh
book.
shit, my book." Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Gotta be specific. I thought you meant Blue Eye Samurai had a book.
no, not a bit. Nah, it's fine as a TV show.
Maybe a comic series.
Yeah, a manga. Manga seems fitting.
Mm. And in the end, the leader of this cutthroat bandit group assassin group turned out to be the jerk that commissioned the sword at the beginning. That's the twist, and the sword is actually broken but still usable because it's just that good.
Yeah, because shut up, it's cool.
It's a dramatic reveal. He had that and I love how they throw back like his iconic laugh. that he did when he first got the sword, and then he did when he faced her again. That's a cool.
That's a thing he did.
Does it, you don't remember
No.
when he was like, "Oh yes, I will kill 1,000 men with this sword." Ha 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 ha. And then when he took off the man, we were like, "So we meet again, weak stock." Ha 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 ha. You don't remember that?
I no, and it doesn't sound like something worth remembering.
I just thought it's a cool throwback to when they first met.
Other more important things have happened in the series.
It's a good throwback. It's the little details that matters.
All right. I'm more focused on the did the weird stick thing come up again? Because I know like Ringo like did. Okay, context, people. The festival's going on. It's to get this shrine woman across to the shrine, and then she throws a stick back, and if you catch the stick, you get magic or good luck or
You get
something
a
or a
wish.
wish.
You get a wish.
Uh,
It's basically
and
their New
Ringo's
Year
like,
festival. Yeah.
Ringo basically realizes like, oh, my worldview is pretty small. I'm not really great at anything. I'm not the best.
No, he was going through like almost a crisis because his dream was to be the best at making noodles. But then this
But then he
random
gets to
guy,
another town over. It's like, oh,
yeah,
yeah,
and he's not even the best. Even then, he's better than me. So I should try to aim at being better at something else.
yeah.
So his wish was to be good at something, and I say that's a even on episode 2, that's a very good build on him.
Mm.
And yeah, that's just and also everyone just got you just see everybody in town get naked and jump in the seawater.
Which, good grief, that is shriveling.
It's cold as hell. It's
Uh,
probably like the sun is going down. Everyone's butt ass naked. Also,
mm.
I love the skit of the lady like, I'm gonna wish for a new husband.
But her husband's like, hey,
He's
well,
right.
I'm wishing for a new wife.
Screw you. I'm wishing
Screw
for
you.
I'm wishing for a divorce.
We don't have that. It's Japan.
So yeah, she probably got widowed like 3 times.
I I'm wishing to invent the concept of divorce. Someone get me a lawyer. We have those, right? I guess.
It's just another guy arguing over law for you.
Yeah. Well, that is what a lawyer is.
Yeah, and they get paid for it. Probably not
Yeah.
this time.
Yeah. All right. Big naked run down the street. Everyone gets in the water, which good grief. Ringo catches the stick in his mouth. It's a weird magic stick. Don't question it.
It's just a symbolic
Uh,
stick. It's like a birthday wish.
which he then, I think he then drops it. Or like gives it up. It's like, well, that was for nothing.
No, he caught it with his
Oh
mouth.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah. And Mizu got injured a lot by the assassins, but then not Tengai, Tigan shows up and he's like, fight me! Alright, I will.
And she just passed out right in front of him.
Passes out. Uh,
I mean, it's not a magical stick. It's a symbolic stick. It's like catching the flower bouquet at a wedding. You know?
yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful scene too when like the sun is going down. It's
Oh
shining
yeah,
on the priestess right between the
I
gates.
I love the background work in this.
Oh man, every scene is beautiful. Uh, and yeah, that is his old arc where he's trying to become good at something, great at something.
Yeah.
And it's sometimes you just gotta realize if you can't achieve one dream, it's not nothing wrong with trying to go for another one. Life,
Mm,
life throw, life will throw unexpected things at you. You never know until you try
yeah.
it. Maybe one day I'll try my hand at something and turns out I'm amazing at it.
Yeah. I found them quite. I quite like painting Warhammer models. I'm
Mm.
still a writer though.
Hey, you never know. You might have like a secret talent at pottery or something. It's really the most unexpected thing. Hey, you know, just like that one meme I sent you. Tolkien didn't start writing Lord of the Rings until he was like 60.
Yeah, I really appreciated that, especially given that I've like it's hard getting published, especially published in a way where like you get paid for it. Like I've had my work published in a few anthologies, and none of them have got me any money yet.
Have you tried just printing it out with like a printer and then walk up to a bookstore and be like, "Hey, mate, you mind if you do you mind doing me a favor?"
That's an option.
Yeah, it is here.
Yeah,
They're like
I'd have to ask.
roadside bookstore. I'm talking like those big official bookstore, and they have a reputation to uphold.
Yeah,
I mean like one of those smaller
yeah,
roadside one that sells comics to kids. You know, assuming those are
yeah.
still a thing. Do kids still read comics, or is that just like big nerds, adult nerds thing
Pe-
now?
People, people read. There are still comics for children.
I sure hope they
You
do.
see them. I've seen them. I've seen them in comic shops. They're like what, like on the path to the stairs up the comic shop. There's like a little row of children's comics.
Yeah, but are their children buying it? That's the real question.
I guess there are. I've seen children come in and buy stuff. I get it.
I used to
Stands
do
to reason too.
I used to do this thing as a kid where we would just sit down right there and spend all day reading all the comics and then putting them back.
Ah, that's cute, but like you're in a shop, you should buy some. It feels weird going into a shop, looking around, and not buying something. It feels like you're wasting the guy's time.
Yeah, but he's not doing anything.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I wasn't the only one. There was like an entire row of kids doing that, and they couldn't do anything to stop us.
You can't stop us.
You can't stop all of us.
We can bloody try. We'll get your parents. No.
You can't get all of our parents. Nice try. I'm an orphan.
And the parents are just there, like, sorry about this.
I mean, they're just glad to have the kids off their hands for a few hours.
No, don't stop them. This is the only way we're going to get peace.
It's either this or Coco Melon on the iPad.
What is that?
Coco Melon? You haven't heard about
Never heard of it.
it's basically one of those channels that makes like brain rot content for children.
Oh, I think I've heard of that. Oh no. Uh,
Yeah, ugh. They're made by they're probably like some big corporation in India working their ass off to make those.
yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway, wasn't this supposed to be about Blue Eye Samurai?
right. Hey, look, it's a podcast. This is bound to happen.
Yeah. We should be professional, like Pancreas no work. Wait.
Wait, that's not a. That isn't even a podcast, is it?
No, but he's on the start, he's anonymous a lot.
Ah. Oh, we could do in a few episodes talking about Warhammer later on if you want.
That would be nice, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you heard of you have you played or heard of Signalis?
I seen a lot of meme about it. About the lesbian
I
robots.
used
Yes.
I basically made Elster in 40k as a Skitari.
It fits. Kinda.
Like she's this like her and her wife got trapped in a Trazen vault, and then he let her out on Cadia because he needed a fighter of one of many. And then she's like, "Where's my wife? Bring me back! Give me back my wife!" And then like
You heard
another
this?
player made her wife, and her wife's like a data smith, so she's the one who's in charge of the castle and robots.
Yeah. You heard the story about
It-
the two canon mechanicus that consider themselves married?
oh, that's nice.
Yeah, they marriage isn't a thing in the Mechanicus, but they consider themselves married. And when one of them died, the other know exactly what the password is to open their console and do something important. And it's literally just the date of their birth into the rebirth into the Mechanicus Church.
Oh, uh, Berta, B- Betrayal at Calth? Is that where it is? Ah, neither fully identified as male or female any longer. Such interactions hardly matter when you're a brain in a metal jar. Ah,
Aw.
that's kind of cute. Right? And I think I had I named her Moo New 15,
Yes, I
and
seen
she's
him.
like,
I seen her.
yeah, and she's like, I, and she talks really bluntly and in like short sentences or just binary. And she's like, wife, I don't know how the computer logged me out. How do I do this?
I love how the Mechanicus are depicted in Space Marine 2 when they're like, "Yes, thank you for your assistance. Now I can finally stop using my organic voice. It is disgusting."
But that's she'd be like, oh me for real, for real.
Me free free.
It's like, or it's like, I like talking in binaric. It's quicker. Doing things slowly is stupid.
The flesh is weak.
What,
Numbers are faster.
wife? How do I fix my email? She's just staring at the computer. Just work, damn it. Oh, she's like, work, poop, work, poop, work. Wife, help.
the
She,
the least
it,
competent
they're a bit.
Mechanicus.
Oh no, she's a Skitari. She's like,
Ah,
I shoot big things. I'm not programmed for this. Uh,
I'm not made for this.
she like before her wife turned back, she talked a lot more, but now it's like, well, I don't have to. My wife's here; she can do the talking for me. But I worry that I had other characters say this, where it's like, you just wanted your support worker back. She's barely a wife. Like, oh, that cuts deep.
Ooh.
It's like, oh, it's like I'm not saying that Moo has like mental problems, but like she isn't the smartest tool in the shed.
Yeah, she's a Skitari. They literally only have like very few jobs, and
Yeah, or it's like
one of them is
I,
to die.
she's not dumb. It's more like I don't have the knowledge of this.
Yeah, because her job is literally to kill and
Yeah,
die.
yeah, she's a Skitari marshal, so she like leads the squad. Has a pretty cool pistol because it's like devastating wounds, and that's it. Although it's Elster, so she's also trained in a bunch of other weapons throughout the loops.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel like that's so.
I
There
should
is
get art of her. I should get art of her commission next.
mm, Lewd art.
That'd be fun. No, no.
Darn.
She's a mechanica. She doesn't have much lewd bits left. But it's like, well, I'm from the head down. No, actually, I got into an argument about this on a 40k RP server where it's like, I posted, Stanakan from Blame.
No, no, I don't.
I'll Google it. The character from Avanga, she's like a cyborg robot from the head down. She looks like this. And I was like, okay, could I make this? Would the Mechanicus make this? And someone pointed out, like, not enough exposed wiring. Like, oh yeah, true.
Hmm, that is true. Wow. Look, all I know about Signalis is that they are gay robots.
Except for the one robot male who's in love with the guy whose memories are who's in love with the woman whose memories are getting like messed with. Ah, everyone's it's all sad and scary in Signalis.
But all the fandom care about is like the gay robots.
Yeah,
Ah.
Right, call it here.
Uh, you know what? Let's before we do, let me tell you a few cool facts about the show based on the interview.
Sure.
Their husband and wife, the dual writer, co-writer, and co-creator, are one's Asian, one's a white man. I told you before. And the
Right.
reason that inspired them to make the show is that they have a daughter with blue eyes.
Ah, that's
Uh,
nice.
and you know, and they just decided that over talking about the show, and they decided to make it a thing. They offered it to Netflix, and they said sure. And they just thought that that
Hmm.
period would be perfect to ensure the idea that someone with blue eyes would be considered monstrous. And they started building
Oh, it.
mm,
Yeah.
because
Oh no,
the
my.
wife herself grew up in a town with very few mixed race people.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. Um, I didn't really grow up with like all. Well, you meet like mixed race people. You meet like non-white people over the course of your life, and it's like, there are. Eh. I don't really have much to say about it on that front.
Yeah, because
I
it's more an Asian thing to be grossed out or weird out by those things.
yeah.
But since we're here, we have they announced when season 2 is coming?
Don't think so. Let me Google it.
Okay, let's just say what would you?
The release date, 2026.
We're
Makes
getting there.
sense. Takes a
We're
long.
we're
We're
getting there.
getting there. It takes a long time to make them. That makes sense.
It's about the same time as House of Dragon season 3.
I watch that? I've heard good things about season one, and then season two apparently took a nosedive.
They drag it out too long just to buy time.
Yeah.
Anyway, what would you say you would love to see on season 2?
I want them to do a needle drop of Dropkick Murphys. Because they did what was that song they used in episode one where it's da 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 da, that one, the one from Kill Bill. It's like, wow, tone shift much. I burst out laughing at that.
Okay, so you know what? But because of this, well, because of what we were talking about now, I would love to see a Akechi brother being turned to like a complete Joffrey, but she has to deal with it because he's basically her puppet.
Mm.
Would love to see how
Uh,
she deals with
I
with
would
that.
I would mop the floor with these people. Maybe he's not infallible.
Hmm. Okay, you know what we would love to see though? Romance between
Oh.
Fowler and Mizu.
No,
Yes,
no, no,
I feel like they would
no,
try to redeem him and make those two get along a bit more before
no. I don't redeem. Stop trying to redeem your villains. Didn't work in Naruto. It won't work here.
like not like a complete redeem. Like they get along just a little bit. To show that they're
Yeah,
in a different time. They could have been father and daughter.
I guess.
Like just a little bit. Like he saved her, she saved him. They start to get along. She maybe they visit
Uh,
his they visit his old home where he ate his sister kidneys.
uh,
Also, any reason do you know why he only go for the kidneys and not the rest of her?
uh, rot.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I'd love to see that. I love to see them like get along just a little bit, but in the end, he still betrays her, and she still had to kill him.
yeah.
What I really don't want them to do is somehow bring Jack the Killer into this.
Jack the Ripper, because he was like a Because like, it's 1600s. He was in the 1800s.
Yeah, but I'm sure they'll find a way.
It, no, that is no.
Look, it's
There's other things.
loosely based on history. It's not the most accurate.
There's other bits in history. This is the 1600s. Who was the king at the time? Who was in England at the time? I think that was Charles. Uh,
Let's see.
King of England in 16. I think it's the 1650s. Yeah, because you mentioned the Great Fire of London.
1657.
It was William the Third. Huh. Wait, no. This says it's. Hang on. This says it's Charles the Second. Okay, he was King of Scotland. Oh no. Okay, he was King of England, Scotland, and Ireland from the 1660 restoration of the monarchy until his death in 1685. Charles II, then.
Huh.
I only know much about him from the horrible history song they did on him. Like, he was the king during the Great Fire of London.
Ah.
You said they might have Mizu do that.
Oh my god.
Good.
Burning one capital city after the other.
It's like, haha, I've committed more accidental murder.
Accidental. Quote unquote.
It's like, this is what revenge does.
Yeah, that'd be. I just really hope they don't bring in Jack the Ripper and they do that instead.
Mm.
It'd be nice to see the cultural difference between how women are treated in Japan and how they are in England. Like, with her acting more like a woman actually gives her some more advantages when walking around.
Mm.
Maybe we'll even see some women on women action from Mizu. Who knows?
Maybe that. I don't know. That might be a bit exploitative. I'm not sure.
Who knows?
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
We've got 2 years to wait and talk about it.
Mm.
A year and a half. But yeah, I feel like we can end it there.
Yeah.
That
Good
was,
talking to you.
it was a good. I say that was a good
Ending it now.
podcast. It's a bit of a mess, but yeah. Anyway,
Right.
I'm
See ya.
All right, see y'all. We'll pick it up again next time. We'll talk about the other episode. I say 2 episodes per. We'll talk about 2 episodes per each time we do this. It's a pretty good progress.
Yeah. So it's Facebook. Mm-hmm.
And with that, and thank you all for listening to the end. I'm sure we'll do it again next week. And thank you all for listening. This has been Lude, in the moment of lucidity.